Alright, welcome back. So, a couple days ago I took apart HYTE Keeb TKL for the purpose of modification and decorating. So at this point, it's been a couple days and I've been spending the time to modify some of the pieces for this Keeb, and I'll be putting it back together. Before we begin, I'm going to talk about the tools that you'll need. It's actually much easier than we were taking this apart. All you really need is two tools. Begins with number one, Phillips screwdriver. You literally need one screwdriver for this, as well as a tweezer to help with the ribbon cables, putting them back in. So those are the only two tools. I'm going to stick with the straight one today again. It's just my preference for today. Otherwise, we begin with the acrylic case, which I've actually done some decorating. This is where the HYTE Keeb is really strong in terms of their design, and I really like decorating with this. They give you 3 layers and you can put vinyls on all 3 of them, and especially this middle diffuser layer, it creates opportunity for you to decorate on both the top side. As you can see, I put a vinyl over the HYTE logo itself, as well as the back side itself. I don't recommend going too busy with the vinyling work on the middle layer here, because it will just look a little bit too busy when it's combined with the bottom layer. So when you combine it, it creates this really nice layer effect with your vinyl, gives it some really nice depth. In this case, you can see it creates a nice theme for the decorations that I've chosen for this particular build. So the middle layer of the acrylic case just kind of stacks in nicely, and then there is the silicone layer that I've incorrectly identified as rubber last time, but this is a silicone layer. What I did was scan and cut the vinyl to fit over the gray silicone layer. It doesn't stick very well, so you have to be very careful as you're handling the stack. I just kind of lay it over and create a nice colorful background for your bottom stack, like so. Not very well on the camera right now, but that's okay. But otherwise, just kind of put the silicone layer back on, and then here's the top case to just kind of go over it. It will not, there's no structural for it right now until you put the middle stack in, so don't worry too much that the top of the case is just kind of sitting there flimsy. Just put it off to the side. We'll come back to this in a bit, but yeah, so that's the portion that I've decorated in terms of the outer acrylic case. Otherwise, one of the other pieces I really like painting is actually the top plate. The plate itself, I've gone with a color shifting paint. Pretty nifty effect. If you see at a different angle, it changes to different colors to kind of give it a nice color shifting effect. I've also painted the top frame itself pink to give it a nice contrast. So here's the frame that I painted. It used to be black plastic. And finally, the last piece that I said I was going to paint is the bottom frame itself. It used to be gray, but now it's pink to also match the top frame. So to reassemble the middle stack, I recommend starting with your bottom frame like so. And since we didn't do too much with the middle PCB layer, we just kind of drop it in. Be careful that your ribbon cable doesn't get caught for any of this. So just kind of put it in there. And then here comes the top plate. It won't be super tight because of the gasket mounting. Before you put the top plate down, we have to do a little bit of assembly here. Remember, we got to get the buttons back on, so there's the 5 media keys that we have to pop back in, so the 5 keycaps. So just like that, the 5 media keys snaps back in. If just in case you don't quite remember the order of the keys, they are the stop buttons, the back, the play pause, the forward, and then the mute button. So those are the 5 keys. Just snap them back in nice and easy. And then this is where we then put on the daughter board for the clicky switches for the media keys. You kind of mount it in with the HYTE logo towards the frame itself. So then there's a very nice little touch here with the the frame itself, where it has a little plastic standoff to help you guide the PCB down. It will snap in so that it will just stay in place like so, and then you just put the 2 screws in. So just like that, after the 2 screws, the daughter board is on. There's there's a total of 4 little plastic things to hold the daughter board in place besides the 2 screws. So it's nicely securely mounted, and we have our keys back, our media keys back. And at this point, we can just fit the top frame over the whole entire stack. And at this point, we'll flip it over so that we can actually mount our the 12 screws. I counted last time during the disassembly. We can put the 12 screws back in. I like to do this step with the whole entire stack a little bit more vertical because of the issue with the extra media keys that kind of puts it off balance. So you just kind of go through and put the 12 screws back in that we took out from the bottom frame. And like that, with the 12th screw in, you have a nice and solid center stack again. And at this point, let's not forget the roller itself. This roller, I like to do things because the roller kind of adds, I don't want to put too much strain as I'm assembling this whole thing, but you just kind of, the roller fits right in at this point. You just slide it in and then get the 3 screws that's there to mount. And we're nearly there. So the rollers are in, the daughter board for the media keys are in, the entire stack is nice and solid because of the 12 screws connecting the top frame to the bottom frame. All that's left is connecting the 3 ribbon cable that we ripped out earlier during the disassembly. Time to pull out the tweezer to help guide the whole process a little bit easier because I have sausage fingers and I can't do this very well without the help of a tweezer. Okay, so with the 3 ribbon cables in from the top right corner of the bottom plate, we can see we are ready for the case itself. This is exciting. We get to put this back into the acrylic case. To do this, before we get too far, we have 1 more ribbon cable to connect. Kind of just put the top frame away a little bit, and we have 1 more for the LED array on the bottom here. That. Okay, so we're ready to reassemble this. What I find easier is to actually take the top frame off, top case off, and then get that to fit over your center stack first before dropping it into the bottom of the case. There are some interlocking mechanism between the top case as well with the middle stack, so I find it easier that if I just do this step outside and get it to fit like this before dropping it nice and easy onto the bottom case. And there is quite a few tabs, so you can snap it in a little bit so it will fit nice and snug. Very nice production from HYTE as a whole. It's a very solid Keeb, even without the glue that we took off. that we broke off earlier. Before we actually put in the hidden screws on the bottom, I like to take a moment and just pause and test that we have made all the right connection with our ribbon cables. And so far so good. We're lighting. Gonna check the volume control. We got that. Brightness control on the right roller. Media key. Yes, we have that. And looks like the LED is nicely lit. Not the right color scheme, but we'll fix that later. So now we can actually put our screws back in on the bottom. So carefully flip the case over, and remember we have 7 screws here, 3 of them are hidden, but let's start with the top ones. Pretty straightforward, everything lined up. You just put the screws in. Yay. And now for the 3 hidden screws, using the trick that we had from previously when we were disassembling the Keeb. You can find where the screw hole are by looking through the case, and then you just have to peel back the bottom feet just a little bit to reveal the screw hole, and then just get your screw in that way. And like that, we have the Keeb reassembled mostly. We're just missing the switches and keycaps. But otherwise, with those last 7 screws in, it's nice and solid even without any gluing at the moment. There might be a little bit of creaking, so if you want, you can actually put in some CA glue along the edge on the right and the left to help make it more secure. But otherwise, it's a pretty solid keyboard at this point. So we're going to move on to putting the switches and the keycaps back in. Just putting some last few pieces from the assembly itself that we need to, which is the foam between the space bar as well as the roller. So now let's go and grab the switches and the keycaps. Alright, so to put the keycaps on, I'm going to clear out my desk a little bit here. We definitely don't need the blue mat because we don't have any more screws. And we probably don't need the circuit key. I need a little bit more space. I'm going to move that off to the side to give myself a little bit more room for the switches and stuff. So for this build, I decided to go with a set of Duroc White Lotus light tactile switches. The person I'm building the keyboard for said that they like tactile switches, and this will fit the theme very well. I've been using quite a few of these for my recent builds because they're just really nice, reasonably priced light tactile switches that 5 pins, nice LED directing light guides, and just overall a nice feeling set of switches that's pink, which fits the build very well. So yeah, just throw on all the switches, and here we go. just like that, I finished putting the switches back in. Before we put the keycaps on, I like to take a minute to test out all the keys to make sure all the switches are working. Looks like we are good, so we're ready for the keycaps. Yay! Fun part. So clearly I am doing a build here with a particular theme in mind, and I got these standard PBT die-sub themed keycaps from AliExpress. Obviously not as nice as the official stuff from HYTE, but HYTE doesn't make a March 7 theme keycaps yet, so I'm stuck with these. So time to throw on some keycaps. And that's it. Keycaps have been installed. Looks and sounds great. And yeah, there you have it. Themed HYTE Keeb has been reassembled. Hope you find the tutorial to be helpful. I hope to see more people modifying these HYTE Keebs. They're really beautiful keyboards overall and great for just customization. Because of the layered design, you really get some really nice layering effect for the vinyls that you do decide to put on. But otherwise, just really nice keyboard that I really like, and it has a ton of decoration potentials. If you just want to create a theme build for yourself, really nice platform to work off of.